Hey folks, Justin from Tackle Tactics. Today we're going to talk about how to rig and fish a deadly new addition to the ZMan micro finesse baits range. This is the ZMan 1.75 inch micro goat. So this deadly little double kicking paddle tail has already landed a stack of species including brim, flathead, grunter, snapper. It's a deadly little plastic, but the key with it is we need to rig it on the right jig heads. So today we're going to talk about how to rig and how to fish this deadly little ZMan micro goat. Oh, didn't he pick that up off? I was just hopping that off the bottom and he has drilled it. That is awesome. All right, so straight out of the packet, we want to grab our little ZMan 1.75 inch micro goat and we want to break those 2 feet apart. So they'll come as one in the pack. We split those apart and that allows those 2 little feet to do their thing and get really kicking in the water, attracting those fish and triggering strikes. So what jig heads are we going to rig this guy on? It rigs absolutely beautifully on a number 2 in the light wire. So a HeadlockZ Finesse. Our Finesse is a light wire hook. It's a Gamakatsu light wire hook, and it's all about maximum penetration on light lines and with light drags. So being a Finesse plastic, we're often fishing it on light combos, 1 to 3 kilo gear, light leaders, so that fine wire hook is ideal for getting that hook set. The cool thing with those HeadlockZ Finesse, in a number 2, we've got a range of weights that we can fish. So 1/20th and 1/16th, nice and light, in around those pontoons, keeping that plastic up in the water column, out onto the flats onto a 1/12th, and then down to our 1/8th for fishing those drop-offs and edges with that size 2 light wire hook. You can see that guy rigs beautifully on that number 2, and those feet are right at the back of the hook there, so it draws that strike right onto the hook point. So that's the fine wire hook. The cool thing about that fine wire hook also is that we have color options available. So we've got the HeadlockZ Finesse UV in that fine wire hook. And what this does is it allows us to match our plastics to our jig heads. So we can really color coordinate them for that tough bite, especially when the day's bright and the conditions are clear. So we can either use it to match our plastic or we can use it to contrast it, like this guy here. We've got that blue glimmer sparkle in the plastic and that bright orange head to draw that fish in to strike that plastic. And again, those HeadlockZ Finesse UV jig heads are available in those same weights, so we can cover that really light, slow, finessey presentation, keeping that plastic high in the water column, to that 1/8th for fishing the edges and those sorts of things, with the ability to mix and match those colors. And that's that fine wire Gamakatsu hook again. So those guys, all about maximum penetration. What about, as we've already seen, this guy has caught snapper, you know, giant herring are going to love it, a lot of species that are a bit more brutal on that hook. So what if we want a heavier wire hook? In that case, we can step to this guy. So this is the HeadlockZ HD. So this is a mustard heavy wire hook. So the difference, and one easy way to tell the difference, is the color of the packaging is alternated. So our fine wire there will have an L, so a 2L is light wire, and the blue on the packaging is at the top. The H for heavy wire, and it'll have the blue at the bottom, so the colors are reversed when you're looking at them on the shelf, makes it nice and easy, as well as that H for heavy wire and L for light wire. So in a light wire hook, that's a Gamakatsu hook, we need a 2. In the heavy wire, we need a size 4, and that's a mustard, and that's a brutally strong little hook in that mustard number 4 hook. And again, we've got a selection of weights that we can use to fish that plastic throughout the water column. And you can see that guy there rigged on that number 4. So basically the number 4 in the mustard hook is basically the same size as the number 2 in the Gamma. So number 4 in a heavy wire, number 2 in a light wire hook. We also have another light wire option that's a little bit different, and that's the hidden weight system jig head. So our hidden weight system is again on that Gamma, so we want that number 2. And that weight of the jig head is concealed inside the plastic. So you can see there, very, very natural presentation. All that we've got poking out of the plastic is the eye of the hook and the hook point to get that hook set. So the weight is concealed, gives it a different type of sink. We'll get a more horizontal sink, nice slow sink. And that hidden weight is very popular for chasing brim around pontoons, rock walls, mangrove edges, where we're keeping that plastic up in the water column. So don't forget that number 2 in the hidden weight system is also effective for fishing your ZMan 1.75 inch micro goat. So we've got fine wire options, we've got the hidden weight, we've got those heavy wire options. We've also got the option to rig it weedless. So in this case, we've got our ChinlockZ Finesse, and that's a number 4 in a ChinlockZ Finesse jig head. And that way we can rig our plastic weedless like that, you can see there, allowing us to fish it into reeds, lilies and those sorts of things for bass. We can bubble it across the top for brim, fish hits it, clears that 10 times tough, super soft and flexible LazTech material very easily. So that's weedless rigged on a number 4 in a Chinlocks. And if we want to add some weight to that, get down into the snags where the brim and that are hiding, we can put that onto our SnakelockZ Finesse jig head. So that gives us the option of a few different weights in that SnakelockZ Finesse on that same size 4 weedless hook to suit that plastic. We can clip that guy off if we want to fish it on top, or we can have it with that weight on to fish it deeper down into those snags. So that's a weedless option in either a weightless presentation or a weighted presentation. So there you go, there's a few options for rigging that ZMan 1.75 inch micro goat. I always add a bit of my scent to my plastics as well. I fish that ProCure Super Gel scent. So in this case, you know, you might add your saltwater yabby nipper or shrimp or one of those scents that suits this nice little paddle tail plastic. So there you go, there's a bunch of different options for rigging that deadly little 1.75 inch micro goat, from finesse to heavy wire and into our weedless options as well. Check out that little plastic at your local ZMan dealer and also online at tackletactics.com.au. Take that micro bait, get out there and get those big bites. Fish on.